Well, summer's technically over, even if it is still hotter than an Efreeti princess's nether portions. I'm here in Florida, y'all. School's back in session, and just in time, they've announced Strixhaven, the back-to-school book for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So, grab hold of your pathetic little dice bag. We're going to see if there's any adventure in this. And welcome back. Are you playing the right game? I know that sounds like a stupid question. You're probably playing the world's most well-marketed role-playing game. That makes sense. It's popular, easy to get players. It's got deep roots, so even grognards like me can get a hang of the mechanics. Now, it's Strixhaven specifically. Strixhaven Curriculum of Chaos got my little gray matter churning, and I am one of these grognards, Grumbler. I've got dice older than most of my players, and a lot of you watching this. That's for perspective. How I run my game works for me. How you run your game probably works for you and yours. I just want to give you some tools or get you thinking about some things that might be useful for your games. So, in a perfect world, you got your group together that can meet regularly and gets along. First thing, absolutely before Session 0, so consider this part a prequel to my Session 0 video. What is the game's focus? What is the style of play? What is the average adventure going to be about? Is everything going to be tied into one big epic quest over the course of the campaign, a la Lord of the Rings? Political machinations where your house or family is in jeopardy, but you can win the crown, Game of Thrones style? Dungeon of the Week, where you kill the bad guys, take the loot? This posits 4 years of school spread over 4 adventures. Okay, here's the thing. You have to make sure the rules you're using support the style of play you're going into. This is a new splat book. This is a $50 splat book that has a few monsters, some spells that might not be balanced with the rest of the campaign, and 4 adventures. Now, $15 an adventure isn't bad if they're good. And any adventure you buy, you can scavenge maps, traps, whatever from. But are these going to have utility? Are they going to suit every group? And I just have to laugh a little at the timing of this. They really have their finger on the pulse of the gamer community. Harry Potter, let me see, the last book came out 14 years ago. The last movie about 10. That's when you would have done it. And I understand it's a Magic the Gathering tie-in. I get it. Here's the point of Magic the Gathering is each of the players is a wizard. In your average D&D party, especially 5th edition, with its insane emphasis on balance, what's your non-wizard character going to be doing in a wizard school? I'm sure they try to fit a square peg in a round hole in this, but if I want to play a dwarf barbarian and the rest of you are book nerds, what the hell am I going to do? Am I going to go to class? Or am I playing the janitor? So, let's take a quick look at what Polygon has to say. All right, drink that in right there. D&D's Strixhaven campaign has mechanics for what a hot mess college life can be. That's a little presumptive. We haven't all gone to college, and we don't all have fond memories of it, but oh, I do love this picture. Now, I find it amusing where they trimmed it, because this gal's showing off a little bit of leg. We can't have that, but the 2 dudes dancing? Hell yeah, front and center. Now, there's a couple of key points here that I absolutely love that Polygon thinks is awesome. It is, designers have developed rules to simulate college life, including taking tests and working on campus. Depending on how well you do on your exams, which mostly consist of skill checks and a lot of flavor, you get bonuses going forward in the story. So, Roll to pass your math test. Yay. Book also contains rules for building up relationships with other students, which affects the narrative, but also has mechanical impacts on the game. Players can interact with them during relationship encounters such as improv, festival, house party, or pitch-perfect style singing competition. Oh boy. Yeah. Let's take a look at the official website, because I trust Polygon about as far as I could throw my mother-in-law. All right, back to, let's see, Strixhaven, Curriculum of Chaos. Much more to the point. Players begin as first-year students who study, socialize, and adventure their way to graduation. Experience D&D in new ways through academic challenges, extracurricular activities and jobs, and relationships explored on campus. New race in the book, an owlin, one of the owl folk who study at the university. New player character options, including feats and backgrounds. New spells and magic items. 40 mysterious creatures and NPCs in the bestiary. Strixhaven can be dropped into any D&D world or campaign with the provided rules for adventuring as a student of magic. No, they can't. No, it can't. A lot of campaigns, you have the master, apprentice, and that's it. There aren't magic schools. This pseudo Renaissance tech level that they're implying here is more suited to the Forgotten Realms and other similar settings. Now, credit to the artist. I do like the look of the school here, and the uniforms are clearly conveyed. And this smug bastard, I like this particular picture, but you mean to tell me this asshole's allowed to practice fire magic in the library? Candles around books? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Okay. Moving on. Oh boy, here we have some adventure. We have what appears to be a dwarf, possibly a cleric, the mace, wearing leather armor, I think. Some kind of superhero, because that outfit never exists. A ranger, and a night elf from World of Warcraft, which maybe that's the other new race. Okay, so this is a day on the campus. I like the little golem. And again, furry races, not for me, but I do, somebody really did a good job drawing an owl. And I would like to draw your attention to the wheelchair. I didn't catch this till today. You mean to tell me, at this high magic school... My wife and the editor want me to be very clear on this, so let me be clear. The point is not against somebody who has a disability, is the fact that this is the silliest way to fix it in this particular setting. You've got a golem front and center. If you can enchant a piece of metal to get up and walk around, you could make a suit of armor that could serve as this gal's legs. You could have the healing magic that lets her walk, or you could use a modified Tensor's floating disc. I am not trying to dump on people who have disabilities. Most of the people with disabilities I've spoken to don't play a character that has the same disabilities. This is escapism. I'll give the glasses a pass since it's a nerdy girl at school. I know it's trendy to fetishize somebody else's handicap. And there's been a huge round and round in the community about dungeoneering and wheelchairs, but Dungeons & Dragons is not a point-based system. If your character has a debilitating injury, that's a negative. Period. You come into my campaign on wheels, don't bitch at me when you can't get upstairs. And this. Here we go. Polygon cut out the leg. That's okay. It's not terribly impressive. She walks around on toothpicks, but I'm guessing it's prom, but it might just be a... Hang on, I got to look up something.
Gala. 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 Gala.
Well, I guess gala is a correct pronunciation. Okay, don't get me wrong. I understand that a dance or a ball can be interesting, but I have the feeling this is the penultimate or the ultimate end goal of the campaign. And frankly, that ain't a dungeon, and I don't see a dragon. Now, a dance or a ball can be an interesting component, can be an interesting thing to add to the game, or just good scenery. And there's a good potential for excitement there, but I have to wonder what what are they going for here? I just don't understand. And the Polygon article gleefully talks about frenemies and besties and things like that. And unfortunately, 5th edition doesn't really have good rules for that. And unless you buy this book, you're going to have to, even if you do buy this book, you're going to have to staple those onto your existing campaign. So again, I go back to my original point. Are you playing the right rule set for the style of game you would like? Now, it would be very possible to make a good school-based setting. In fact, introducing my son and his friends to role-playing, we did a GURPS thing where they were basically apprentices, although it was more akin to the early episodes of Naruto than anything in the unseen university of Discworld. Back before Naruto sucked and Discworld never has. Just throwing that out there. And yeah, you can do all kinds of fun stuff in a school setting, but you're still going to have to staple your rules onto your existing, 5e character and campaign. Now, what I posit is, if you want to run this style of game, a Dungeons & Dragons rule set isn't the right rule set. All right, let's say I want a hypothetical wizard school game. Here's what I want as a dungeon master. And I'm a dungeon master regardless of game, fuckers. An interesting fantastical setting, a detailed magic system, rules for learning new skills slowly rather than ding, level, new skill. An advancement system that doesn't require combat, rules that support younger characters, and social skills. Of what I have on hand, 5e is the last system I'd use. Taking a look at that list, arguably Strixhaven fits the first category, and unless it changes the base game dramatically, it does none of the others. So, let's take a look at using GURPS. For fun, there's already a Discworld setting book. GURPS has a detailed magic system and the ability to learn skills slowly. GURPS also uses a nested system of prerequisite spells, and you can learn skills by practicing. It also, in that, it would lend itself well to the schools of magic. The experience point system, character points, are designed to be given out based on plot advancement, successful gambits, and more general rewards than killing monsters. Younger characters. GURPS has rules where being below a certain age is a disadvantage that gives you a hit on your stats that you will age out of. And social skills. They've got separate skills for performance, fast talk, and other soft skills that would be useful in a school situation. Add to that patrons, allies, dependents, and you could really build your network of frenemies and besties really easily. Now, FantasyCraft. Shout out to Ten Bones who put this on my radar over at the RPG site. FantasyCraft is a bit of a hybrid and level-based points game. It balances out some of the outrageous race and class combinations. You can have Groot go to school with his Drake friend. It's got multiple nerdy, social, and book-savvy classes with social rules better supported. You can do things like social attacks and all kinds of cool stuff that would go to it. A lot of work on the front end, but man, this is my favorite game I've never played. What can I tell you? Now, boom. There you go. Now, coming back around to the discussion about what game you're intending to play. There's several other games that are built around this concept. John Wick, not the one you're thinking of, the other one with the higher body count, has one for $3, Eldritch High, a little game about wizards, witches, and warlocks. I don't know the game. It's available on DriveThruRPG. You can probably find it elsewhere, but it's out there. For $3, if you're interested in this kind of game, buy it, read it, cannibalize it, use it for something. So, this is just something to think about for your next game. Make sure, once again, that you got the right rules for the game you want to play. If I want to be stealing idols, punching Nazis, and jumping around doing pulp stuff, Savage Worlds. If I want to be looting the dungeon, killing the goblins, taking their stuff, a Dungeons & Dragons variant, or even better, something OSR. If I want to go to school, I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to go back to school. Anyway, that's something to think about for your next game. Thank you all. Still playing around with the new setup, new hardware. Sound levels are a little funky. The editor and the old lady have both complained about the autofocus. I'm sorry about that. So let me know what you think. If you like, I will do deep dives and I will do true reviews of books. Once again, I can't review a book I don't have and won't try and review a book that's not out yet. It got the little gray cells going, and I wanted to get some ideas out there. Coming up next, I am going to go down the 10 things and turn them into more detailed videos of each of the 10 points for my before session 1. And I got some other cool ideas going on. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Either way, thanks for your time.